Hi, welcome to my presentation for the experimental game project. Our brief for this assignment was to get into a group of 4 or more and to create a 3-minute VR experience that we created. Our theme for this assignment was not of our time. We will then take this theme and make it into a immersive 3D experience that can be viewed on an Oculus Quest, as well as this 10-minute recording. Our first idea for this assignment was a girl and her dad, and themes of time travel linking back to our theme of this assignment of not of our time. Some more of these first ideas was going back into time from present day into the 70s to late 90s. And then we had some different ideas of where this could be set, such as in New York, in America, or in other countries like Japan. This was a mood board I created going off these first ideas. And then my role for this assignment was to make interiors based off our story, and as well as a role in this assignment was to make the interior design for our main character based off her dislikes and her interests. For my role, I have made some mood board concepts and I have done research based on our brief and what our teammates wanted for our idea. Our main character is Sarah Ross, who is a new scientist. Our main character for this assignment is Sarah Ross, who is a scientist who goes forward in time to our present day. Using this idea, it then started to help me gather ideas for what her bedroom could look like and what things I needed to gather for her. Knowing that she lived in the 80s, this then helped me gather ideas and research, such as this mood board, to help me get an idea of what her bedroom could look like. This is when I did a quick sketch of just gathering ideas, thinking about the colour schemes that her bedroom could look like. This also helped me visualise what it could look like and what assets I might need to make. This is when I did a floor design of what her bedroom could need and different layouts of what it could look like. This is then when I did a more detailed sketch, going more detailed into the colour schemes and other things that might be needed. Here I did some sketches of more in detailed of different 80s items that could be found. Here I made an asset list to help me understand what I might need to create for the bedroom. This is my research that I looked more deeply into the 80s. I found that they often used the use of country rose flowers, multiple pillows on the bed, lacy drapes and curtains, as well as pastel colours. Here, this was when I then found the IKEA's magazines from the 80s. This helped me through references and to further understand the colour schemes that they used at this time. This is when I looked more deeply into wallpaper designs to help me later on texture the room that I made. Here I looked at different bedding styles and different colours and different patterns that they then used. I also did the same for rugs. This was when I started to create my 3D models. I looked at references of furniture that they used from the 80s. Here I found a TV from the 80s that I would then use later on to help me reference and create the TV for the bedroom. Starting to create some of my assets, I wanted to make the bedroom realistic, so I looked further into details how to make curtains in Blender. After making all of my assets, I then started to place them in walls that I created in Blender, as well as using a scale reference model to help me scale up my models and to make sure they were accurate. Here are all of my models that I made myself in Blender. Here are the smaller models that I placed around the room that I also made. Here are some renders of the room without the texture on them. After making my models, I then began the process of texturing them. As well, I made some of my own textures to be put on the walls to look like paintings. This was further to enhance her age and the wealthiness of Sarah. For these textures that I made for her room, I added a canvas texture in Photoshop that could be found in the filter gallery. This to further enhance the paintingness of them. I also added a colour gradient so the paintings match the bedroom more with the colour scheme. After I finished in these paintings, I then took them into Substance Painter and added them on my photo model that I created. When texturing my models, when putting them into Substance Painter, I used the preset assets that they had available. I changed them by changing the colour of them, changing the tiling of them, and by adding stamps that were also the preset stamps in Substance Painter. After making my textures, I then took them into Blender and exported them into the shading port and connecting the nodes so you could see the textures. After doing all this is when I created my final renders of the bedroom. Here is a video of my bedroom in the VR experience and in the game engine.
Okay?
Yeah.
Can I have my card? I'm leaving now.
In reflection to my work, due to working in VR, most of my assets had to be compromised and I only had to choose the most important assets for the bedroom. This means that a few of my smaller assets that I created weren't added into the game. However, I was still proud of my work and my texturing, as I have never used Substance Painter or textured any assets before, as well as using new things in Blender, such as the cloth modifier that I'd never used as well. I was happy that I managed to make the bedroom historically accurate to the time of the 80s, as well as meeting the brief requirements. However, for the next time, if I were to do this again, I would have liked to add more smaller assets to the room and make it more detailed. And as well as making some of the textures more detailed, such as the books. This is the final footage of our VR experience.